Hey y'all, happy Friday. As y'all saw, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If this is your first time here, welcome, or if this isn't your first time here, welcome. I'm Patrice. This is Craftable Things, and this is Crafts and Combos. Crafts and Combos occurs every Friday night. Sometimes I might take the Friday off. However, it occurs every Friday night, and we craft and we talk about various things. So, welcome in everyone. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel by clicking the red little rectangle below that says subscribe. Okay, so tonight we are going to be designing because guess what? I had a pretty long week this week at work trying to get caught up, and I'm still not caught up. And I had a lot of questions in regards to designing. So we will be having a few classes. So we're going to be having a beginner silhouette class. We will be having a beginner bling class and an advanced bling class, all in the month of November. All right, so starting next weekend, I will have listed tomorrow the class that I'll be having next weekend, and then you guys will see the schedule of the classes that we're going to have. But I've been getting quite a few requests for some bling classes, but if you don't know Silhouette Studio, I totally recommend taking the Silhouette Studio class, and I also don't recommend taking the advanced class if you haven't taken the beginner bling class. So, and if I see that you have never taken the beginner class, then I may just refund you because I don't really want anybody going straight to the advanced and you don't really have that much experience with blinging. If you have experience with Silhouette Studio, then you may be good, but we'll see. But yeah, y'all, that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm not gonna keep you guys for too long. I have a basic black tee in SS6 cutting out, but something was going on with my connection and it did not cut out. So it's cutting out now. It did not cut out when I thought it was cutting out. That's what kind of took me a little bit of time to get on. But nonetheless, I'm gonna just bring me out an SS10 design, and then maybe another night I'll do the SS6, and then I'll give you guys a chance to see just how blingy SS6 is. I also have this bling vibes design that I'm probably gonna brush into tonight. So we'll see. This particular template, we did this at Blingfest. It is listed on my website. Both of these designs are now listed on my website. This is listed on my website. It says Bling Vibes, and it comes in with a solid fill and also with an ombre fill. In addition, if you are an extreme Bling box member, you should have gotten an email from Terrell. We are going to do a Zoom tomorrow because my schedule has been really all over the place. Really for the past few months, but this month it has been all over the place. So I do want to go ahead and get the month of October, our Zoom, out of the way. So just check your emails if you haven't seen it. Tomorrow we're going to blink a little bit. And I think that's it for announcements. Y'all, I totally missed Blingfest though. Like all of my little memories in my phone came up about what I was doing last week. And I'm just like, oh yeah. So a few of you guys have been asking for this design, this is basic black tee. Almost a year ago, I did simple white tee. And some of you guys have been asking for like a basic purple tee, basic red tee, something like that. Now, I don't necessarily like basic purple tee. So I'm probably not going to do a basic purple tee. I may do like, and that's what we're going to be designing tonight. Something very simple. At least I think it's something very simple. So we can maybe do like a plain purple tee, or so my words basic and simple are very similar. So simple white tee, basic black tee. That's kind of my mindset for it. So I thought about pretty purple tee, but then that kind of goes off of what I thought, like how I wanted the shirt designs to be. So maybe plain purple tee would be fine. Y'all let me know what you think. And then I haven't thought of anything for red just yet. So I don't know. I'll have to think of it. Something, yeah. So yeah, but hey y'all. Let me see who's here. I'm gonna say hey to some of y'all, and then we're gonna get ready to head into Silhouette Studio. And then we'll talk a little bit about Silhouette Studio and maybe why I like Silhouette Studio for bling designs. I was going to show you guys my whole entire process tonight, but I don't want to confuse anybody because I start out in Silhouette Studio, but I always end in Adobe Illustrator. So some of you who don't have Adobe Illustrator, that's not your thing. So we're just going to stick with Silhouette Studio tonight. So, hey, Miss Sharon Davenport, welcome in. Hey, Retired Crafter 22. Y'all, I totally had such a good time last weekend. I can't wait for the next Blingfest. Like, I think a year is just too long to wait. Oh no, I thought the machine stopped, but it's still cutting out the SS6 version. Thank you, Miss Sharon Davenport. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please hit the thumbs up. That sounds good. I appreciate you. Hey, Dunzo. All right. So the names look fine on my part. Hey, DB. Hey, D. Smith. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, Mrs. Parker. Hey, Mary Bear. Marilyn, I was going to call you to see if you wanted to bling, but I've had so many questions about just basic rhinestone designing and things like that. So we're gonna do a template tonight. I'm not gonna cut it out though because I don't want to be on all night. And that means I would have to get out the cricket. I don't have time for that because yeah, I don't have time for that. Hey, Monique Johnson. Hey, Dr. Anita Horn. Hey, everyone. Welcome in. Oh, y'all. Hey, Daisy. Hey, Evie. No worries. Evie's traveling, y'all. She's saying hey to everybody. I don't know if, Evie, I meant to call you to see. First of all, Evie, I got a notification. So, whatever it is, thank you. But I also wanted to see if you were going to be back in time um for date night next week. So if you get a chance, let me know. If not, it's fine. Date night can be rescheduled. Hey, Bobby. All right, y'all. Hey, Miss Sharon. Hey, Miss Merlinda. I'm looking at Miss Sharon Davenport right underneath. But hey, Miss Merlinda. Hey, Victoria's Creations. Welcome in. Creative Notions. Welcome. Hey, Miss Diane. Welcome in. Nomi. All right, y'all. I'm scrolling all the way down now because it's already 8:15 and it's already kind of late. Your girl is a little bit tired. All right, what happened to Miss Linda Gray? Oh, Miss Linda Gray had surgery. Miss Linda Gray sending all the healing prayers your way. Hey, Robin's Creations, Jennifer Ricci, all of y'all, Patricia Slocum. All right. All right. Did anybody ever say if they saw Miss Sharon Davis around anywhere recently? Hey, Barb. Listen, Eve, I think a year. Okay, does anybody agree with me? A year in between Bling Fest gatherings, it's just a long time. In my personal opinion, like I already miss everybody. I already miss like the fun of Bling Fest. I had such a good time at Bling Fest. Like I think a year, that's a long time to be waiting. Hey, Alicia. Awesome. So we'll talk a little bit about Silhouette Studio and just if you guys have any questions while we're going. I have the computer facing the monitor, so maybe I'll be able to see, but y'all know, hey, Brandy. Y'all, Brandy is so much life. Like, Brandy is life. Like, literally. Hey, Miss Evelyn Warner. I think one a year is not enough. I'm just saying. Let's see what y'all said, if y'all agree with me. Let me see if y'all agree with me. See, look. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Marilyn, it's late here, girlfriend. Hey, Miss Sandra, is it a new 2020 on tonight? I think last week was a new 2020 and I missed this and I haven't caught up yet. Let me know. See, Miss Sharon Davenport agrees. Monique, so we should have Blingfest in Texas. I haven't seen Miss Sharon Davis for a long time. Evie, have you heard from Miss Sharon Davis? Because I haven't. I need to see Latricia. It's so many people that I've been thinking about, like Momo Girl. Where is Momo Girl? Where are you? I have not seen Momo Girl in a minute. I know she had been traveling at one time, but I thought she would have been back by now. I haven't heard from Momo Girl, seen her. Look, Brandy said it is a long time. It is. It is a long time. So just said genuine purple tea. I need, find me a teal shirt, Jess. Find me a teal shirt. Alicia, we don't mind. All are welcome to Blingfest. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not. Okay, so Edie said no, she hasn't. I have to see. A new 2020. Thanks, Edie. All right. To Barbara. Okay, she's okay. Please let me know how Miss Barbara Bonaparte is doing. So one time, y'all, maybe like about 3 years ago, maybe was that 2022? That might have been 2022, I think, or maybe 2023, around that time, 2022 maybe. So maybe 2022. Terrell and I did. We had a sublimation class down here, like a sublimation get together, and Miss Barbara Bonaparte came. We had such a good time. We had such a good time. Sure. Oh, it was a vibe. Girl, you are a vibe. You are the vibe. You are the vibe. Okay, Rachel, the Purple Queen has spoken. Or one of our Purple Queens, because y'all know we got a few Purple Queens. The Purple Queen has spoken. That's what tonight's template is going to say. Plain purple tea. That's what it's going to say. So we're going to make a plain purple tea shirt. That's what it's going to say. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Dear, I can't keep scrolling up to look. Oh, powerful, playful, and that's too much. Vera, that's too much. That's too much. It has to be three. It's gonna be one adjective describing, well, two, basic and black. Two adjectives describing the t-shirt. That's it. That's it, and that is all. You want me? Look what Vera say, y'all. Powerful, playful, and or powerful. Oh, you said powerful purple tea, playful purple tea, proud purple tea. So she got the assignment right, but it has to be. So when you're designing, you have to kind of think. So okay, so anything I make generally when I'm designing is something for me. So I may put it up on my site to sell, but for the most part, anything that I design is for me. It's because I want to wear it or I like it, right? But when you're designing, I always get a question asking me like, what do how do you come up with these designs, or what makes you do things the way that you do it, or come up with what you come up with? What's around me? So the white shirt came up when I did the simple white tee. Honestly, I was watching it wasn't the Super Bowl. It was whatever, maybe a Christmas football game or whatever, and Beyonce was performing the halftime show, and in her song she was talking about a simple white tee. So I was like, "Oh, let me do a simple white tee and bling." And I just wanted to do something to see how certain stones would sparkle on or shine on a white t-shirt, and I chose to use colors that were similar to like that white tone. So then I always wear black, so then I'm like, you know what? Let's do a basic black tee. Like, I'm happy in a basic black t-shirt. It doesn't have to be major. So I want something kind of similar, at least for me and for what I like. Something similar to the word basic, or something similar to the word simple. So plain would be ideal, because there's not really many words that I could find that would go with what I wanted it to say, and I kind of like the plain purple, you know, just that's it. But if you're looking for design inspiration, I'm going to show you guys this, and you guys know I've been showing how to do bling designs for a very long time. Like, and not even just showing, you guys have been learning. A lot of you guys have been here from like the beginning, learning how to do this with me. You guys know we made several mistakes, and we will still continue to make several mistakes. I don't know everything, but you guys have been here with me, and I love showing what I know how to do. I love showing you guys what to do. The only thing I don't like is when I am, they say imitation is a form of flattery. I'm never, ever, 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 ever flattered by it. Ever. And I'm not saying that if I show you guys how to do this, I don't want you to do this. No. Come up with your own thing. Right? Come up with something you're gonna say. But what I don't like is when like I've been copied like literally in whole. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's not a good feeling. So I try not to do that to anybody else. So that's the only thing. Okay. But I will show you guys how I did this. I'm gonna even share my font, which I was already a little bit on the fence with sharing the font that I use for this template. But y'all know what? I don't really even care. Just don't come out with your own simple white tee design or your own basic black tee design. And if you do, just don't let me see it. If you do it, that's your business. Like that's your own integrity, but just don't let me. I don't want to see it. That's it. That's it, and that's all. All right, so let's get ready. Oh, Miss Sandra has been here. Girl, you've been here forever. For 46 months. Thank you, Miss Sandra, for being here for so long and being my True Crime 2020 partner. Miss Sharon Davenport. Girl. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. We're not excited. We're not excited. Hey, Tanya. We're not excited. Hey, Robin S. All right, y'all. Let's get ready. Hey, Miss Ruth. Here for all of y'all. Crafts by Q. All right, I'm getting ready to share because I know y'all don't want to be on here all night. So let's get started. All right, so that tonight we're going to be using Silhouette Studio, the business edition. I am working on my PC. Y'all, I just want to tell y'all my printers did so well while I was away. The only printer that I haven't gotten, and I haven't actually touched it, is the UP Make. But all of my other printers, my other DTF printers, my UV DTF printer, like everything, even though I was gone for that whole week, everything turned, like all the printers are doing really, really well. Look at Marilyn, Mare Bear. Not the passionate pink tea with the super chat. Thank you, Mare Bear. Can you guys hear my bell? Thank you. Thank you, Marilyn. Hey, Angel Boo. Hey, Miss Geneva. All right, this is Silhouette Studio. You can set Silhouette Studio up to update automatically for automatic updates. I generally don't, but on this particular print computer, this is the version, Silhouette Studio 5. This design that I'm wearing, this is actually a bling box design, so it's not available anywhere. I'm kind of, y'all, it's been almost 2 years that I've been doing the bling boxes, and I gotta tell y'all, it takes up way more of my time than I want it to take up. So I have been battling a lot with just the timing and everything. It takes up a lot more of my time than I like at this time. However, I am very happy that I have not buckled and sold any of these templates that are in the bling box. Because I get a lot of people who, no matter how many times I say, oh no, nothing, I don't sell anything from the bling box. The bling box designs are just for those who purchase the bling box, for nobody else. I still get people sending me emails asking me for the design, no matter how many times I say it. So I have not sent it out to anybody who is not a bling box member. I'm very happy about that because your girl can be a little bit soft at times. I don't know if y'all know that about me, but I can be a little bit soft. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to select design. And this is Silhouette Studio, the business edition. Now, with the business edition, we're able to access the rhinestone panel. If you don't have the business edition, if you have the designer edition, you'll be able to access the rhinestone panel. But if you just have the regular free version of Silhouette Studio, you will not be able to access the rhinestone panel. A few reasons I feel like Silhouette Studio for rhinestones is a great choice. There's so many other options that cost a lot more. I was about to say a little bit more, but it actually costs a lot more than Silhouette Studio. Silhouette Studio is a one-time fee. So unlike all of these other softwares that are out there, you're not paying a monthly subscription fee for it. You are paying a one-time flat fee of it. And when I tell y'all I paid $49 for Silhouette Studio, the business edition, and I feel like I owe them money. I feel like I owe them money. I've had Silhouette Studio for about 4 years now, and I only paid $49 for it. I have Adobe Illustrator. I'm not even going to tell y'all the amount of money I paid for the Adobe Illustrator suite plus add-ons and all that. And then Cricut Design Space, how much I paid for that. For Leonardo, Caesar Leonardo, you're paying monthly for that. Unless you do the yearly subscription, which is about $97. If you got a coupon, you can get it for cheaper than that. However, that's a yearly cost. Canva, I paid like $100 and something for Canva a year. And I barely even use Canva. Now I do use Canva for some things. I don't really use Canva to design, but Canva has made some upgrades, a lot of upgrades lately. And, maybe I need to check Canva out a little bit more for design purposes. I do use Canva for like, I have a calendar that I create in Canva, like different things like that, but not necessarily for designing. All right. You have a code for new users. I have a link underneath one of my videos. I'll go and get it. I'll get it. I do have a link for the business edition. Let's see. So, Jesse, are you talking about the Rhinestone World? TRW. Now, you do have the Rhinestone World software that they're partnered with Corel Draw. You have what other softwares? Sierra Hotfix. Sure Cuts a lot does rhinestones, but I'm just letting y'all know. I have a few rhinestone. I have the Rhinestone Wizard. I have Sure Cuts a lot. I have Caesar. You can do rhinestones in Caesar Leonardo. I have all of those softwares, but I'm going to tell you my go-to software for when I want to create a rhinestone design is Silhouette Studio. And nobody can make me, because I have used all of these other softwares, nobody can tell me otherwise that Silhouette Studio is not one of the best rhinestone softwares around. Nobody. You still have to move you still have to move stones and all those other softwares. The Rhinestone Wizard or the Rhinestone Worlds software, for me, it's just too much on that screen. It's just a lot on the screen in order to be able to do something very simple and basic with Silhouette Studio. Now, can you learn that and get in and do all the things with it? You can. However, Silhouette Studio is very cut and dry and to the point. That's just what I'm gonna say. That's just how I feel. Yes, the business edition is what you want with Silhouette Studio. Now, what I like also about Silhouette Studio, the business edition, is that you'll be able to export your designs outside of Silhouette Studio. Okay, you'll be able to export your designs outside of Silhouette Studio. Okay, so that's what makes I go a lot quicker. I do my rhinestones, the initial setup of my design, and then I export it and open it inside of Adobe Illustrator. Okay, let's see. Brandy, what did I say it was listed on the website, girl? Are you talking to Miss Sharon Davenport? Let's see. You will love Silhouette Studio. There's so many things you can do with it. I download my software to my new computer. I didn't try. This position, I still can't put it on my computer. Can you tell me? So you need to download it. Go to um you can go to the Silhouette site. Go there and download the software. Once you download the software, you're gonna have to go up to help. You're gonna need your product key. If you didn't like sign in, I didn't need my product key to put it on here because all I did was sign in. As you see, I'm signed in. But once you do that, you go to help, and then you will just go here to enter your key, your product key, Tisha. And then once you do that, you'll be able to access the business edition. Yeah. Oh, Mirror Bear. Thank you, Mirror Bear. It's okay. Do you have to use flock? So, Alicia, I swear by flock for rhinestones. I don't think I've ever used anything else except rhinestone flock. Whether it's the pink flock, purple flock, blue flock, I'm gonna use flock. I don't use anything else for rhinestones. Now you can Maryland at one time use glitter H not glitter H glitter cardstock. What else has other people used? Maryland's probably like the only person that I saw have real success with glitter cardstock. I don't. I only use flop. Only. Hey Marlies. All right, y'all. We're gonna get ready to get started. So we're gonna do a few things. We're gonna do Rachel, the purple master, said, let's do plain purple tea. Now with Silhouette Studio, because I'm using my PC and not my Mac today, I had to download the font that I wanted to use. So I downloaded the font from Creative Fabrica, and then once I downloaded the font, I installed the font. So is everybody here comfortable with downloading fonts from websites and then installing it on the computer? Let me know. Alicia, there's no difference. There's no difference in the flock color. Like, well, let the chat tell you a difference. I don't really have any difference, but I speak from somebody who's been doing this for a while, and I just absolutely just love blinging. So when I have a problem with a flock, it doesn't necessarily bother me. Now, when you're looking at the pink or the purple flock, and the purple flock you can get from Evie, Eve, the baby's booty. She sells the purple flock on her website. With those two flocks, they're pretty much the same flock, just different color. All right, they're just different colors. The blue flock is different than it's the same type of material as far as the top, but the adhesive is a lot different than the purple or the pink flock. Okay, so they have flocks in so many different colors now, but those are the flock colors that I use: pink, purple, and blue. Okay, but not really much of a difference. But you will need to test it out. You will need to anytime you're changing flocks, even if you're getting a new batch of the same color of flock, you want to test it out a little bit. Okay, you want to test it out. Okay, yep, the blue is different. I've just mastered the blue flock, but it took some time. It took some time to master it. It did. It did. It took some time. Okay, good. Okay. So you guys are good with adding fonts. Perfect. 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 Nobody said that they're not. Alicia said, okay, yep. Adding from Creative Fabric. So I already have the font added. So I'm just going to go here and we're going to type. So I clicked onto the text box tool over here, or the text function over here. And I'm just going to type in plain. I'm going to do return purple. And I'm doing it in all lowercase letters, because that's what the other shirts are. The simple white tee is in lowercase, the basic black tee is in lowercase, and that's just, that's how you start to build like a theme, or you start to build your collection of, certain types of templates that you make. Okay, so for me, I'm gonna stick with all lowercase letters. Now this one is just the D font, Arial font, but I'm gonna go ahead. Hopefully you guys can see that my screen looks very, very light to me, but okay, now it's getting a little bit lighter. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is, I still have all of this selected. I'm going to head over to the right, and I'm going to open up the textile panel. Now, if you have a MacBook or a Mac computer, your icons look different. They don't all look the same, like how it does on the PC. All right. So we have the textile panel here. With the textile panel, tonight we're just creating a simple text design. Okay, this is a simple text design. We're not really doing too much of, any overlapping, any offsets, anything like that. So when you open up the textile panel, you have your font, but then you also have the option to open up the glyphs for a particular font that you may be using. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. We're going to just go here and I'm going to type in Lucky Retro. That is the font that I'm going to be using tonight. Lucky Retro. This is the font I use this font for the simple white tee and also for the basic black tee. All right. So here I'm just going to make it larger. And let me bring this up some. Now, if you notice here, there's a lot of space here in between the words. And if I were to separate this, you would see even more space around the word plain and T. In Silhouette Studio, when you type in your text, it's measuring everything. Okay? So this is not the true size of the template that we have, right? It's not the true size. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make this, I'm going to get it to where it is going to be a true size for me. All right? Let's go to line spacing. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to kind of reduce some of that line spacing, but I don't really want them to touch. Once I get ready to actually start turning this into stones, I'll probably move the words around myself. All right. So right now we have this all together. I can go ahead. I want to center it. I think I want to have that centered. So we already have it centered. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is, I don't know if you guys know what glyphs are, but if you were to do a glyph, I'll see if I can get this into a glyph. So all I'm doing is making a copy. So I made a copy on the side. What I did was I'm using a PC. So I held down, I left clicked and held down, and then I clicked on the Alt button, and then I just simply dragged it over. Oh, let me do it again. Oh, it's not doing it now. Okay, hold down. Oh, I don't want to go to MailChimp. Hold down your Alt key, girl. And then that brings it over. All right. If you're on a PC, you're going to click onto the options key to do that. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys glyphs if you were considering a glyph. Let's say if I go here, and glyphs are just like the swishy, pretty letters and things like this. Like y'all see like these extra characters here. They have extra little characters that you could use. Let's go to lightning. If I go to lightning, so if you look here at lightning, you'll go down and we have the G selected. That's going to show you like some of the other glyphs, like the pretty letters or flourishes, very decorative fonts or characters that you can add to your text. Okay, those are glyphs. We're not going to be using any glyphs for this because guess what? Our shirt is plain. It's going to be a plain purple tee. Okay. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close out the textile panel and I'm just going to right click and we're going to ungroup all of this. All right. So when I ungrouped it, if you notice, the size shrank down to like 9.103. All right. Because those bounding boxes are now super close to the text, to those characters. Okay. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get all of that. We're going to group each word together. And then we'll do a few little things with it. All right. And I'm just going to make a copy because this is what I'm really going to be working with. All right. So you guys saw how I grouped that together. I'm going to ungroup it because I want you guys to see, because we're going to be talking about compound paths in a second. All right. So if you look here, all of these letters are individual letters. Even if I group it, it still would be considered individual letters because we didn't make it into a compound path. Making something into a compound path, you're turning 5 things into one. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's open up the fill panel. You guys will see me change the colors over here, but we actually do have a fill panel for colors. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll turn this, since we're going to be doing purple, let's just keep it black. And I can't help it. I got to use it over here on this side. All right, so if you look, you see all of those different boxes around each individual letter, right? If you were to take this, save this as an SVG and open it in Cricut, these letters would be all over the place, okay? But let's say I want to go ahead and just, I could group it all together, or I could make it into a compound path, and then that's going to be, it's going to print out just like that, or it's going to cut out just like this, exactly in this order, okay? It's up to you and how you want your, if you want to make it into a compound path. I prefer to make things into compound paths. All right, so it was something else I wanted to show you. Let me do undo. We're also not going to, with Silhouette Studio, the more, if you, any movement you make in the software, that counts as a step, okay? That counts as a step. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select plane. We're going to, let's make paint. Let's group plane. Let's group purple. And let's group T. All right, so there are different things you could do. So let's say if you wanted to kind of like cut plain, like it like that. But let's say you kind of want to cut plain like that and have something, you can make it a little funky. Let's say if you want to do something like this, right? Just because you want to be different, okay? You could be different. So you could do something like this, but you want this to kind of stand out a little bit, right? So let's say if we go here, we're going to cut out of the word plane. So I'm going to go over here. We're going to open up our offset panel. I'm going to create an offset. I generally do a 0.125 offset for the most part. And then click apply. And then we're going to change that offset color to, let's change it to purple for now. Then I'm going to right click and we're going to group all that together. Then I'm going to bring it to the front. We're going to open up the make compound path. This is if you don't want something that just looks, like text. My goal is for it to just be text. But if you don't want it to just be text, then you can do something like this. So we have the word plane or the offset of plane in the back. We're going to subtract that from the word purple. So how will we do that? That purple area needs to be in the front of the word purple. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to bring that to the front. Okay, that needs to be in the front. And remember, this is all grouped together at this point. Does it need to be grouped? Yes, it does. It does need to be grouped. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my shift key and select the word purple. And then we're going to head over and we're going to select subtract. Now subtract is different from subtract all. Subtract all, you're going to have multiple layers, more than 2, okay, when you're doing subtract all. And all it's going to do is slice out whatever is behind it. All right, so we're going to select subtract. And subtract is going to remove the purple, but then it also removed whatever was on top of the word purple. So if you remember that purple cut into the P and then it also cut into that L. So that's what that would look like. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to group purple back together because in Silhouette Studio, once you start subtracting and subtracting all, you end up in whatever is the image beneath, that breaks up. It starts to chop up. Okay? Hey, Shamika. Hey, girl. How you been? All right, so we're gonna go back here to the word T, and don't pay me any attention because I don't usually use a PC. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna head back over to the offset panel, and I'm just gonna undock this here. So we're gonna head back over to the offset panel, and I'm gonna create another offset, and we're gonna keep it at a 0.125. Okay, click apply. I'm gonna change this to purple again. And this purple is already on top, but I'm going to right click and I'm going to group it together. The reason that I'm going to group it together is because if you notice, the T, that purple part of the T is not touching the purple E. So that's two different parts. These two E's are touching, so that's already one, right? But not that T. So by me grouping it together, that helps out my cause. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, what am I going to do again, y'all? I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to select the word purple. We're then going to subtract it. And now we have something that looks like this. Okay? Now we can leave it like this because I want it to look like my other T shirts, that T collection. I don't want it like this. But this is something that you can do. It doesn't have to be just plain text. You can make it very creative. You can be very creative with it. You can make it look different. It doesn't have to just be plain, hey, mama, bye. Okay? And then you can turn this into bling. Right? You can turn this into bling. We could also make this into an SVG. We're inside a Silhouette Studio. It doesn't have to be a rhinestone design. You can make this into whatever you want it to be. Right? You can make this into, let's say if I were to select this, I like to make a lot of copies of things as I'm going. But let's say I group this together. Or maybe, let's say we turn this purple. You can even do something where you can have a print, right? You can print it out. If we have time, maybe I'll print it. But you can change your purple. You can, in Silhouette Studio, you can put in a hex code. You can put in the RGB code, all here, okay? So the exact purple that you want it to be. But you can do something like that, okay? Now let's say I group this together. You could also add another offset around here, the entire design. And let's say we're going to increase that offset because we want it to be a little bit thicker. And we're going to make this to, let's say we don't want any cutouts, right? Let me leave it like this, all right? So now we have that. And then I'm going to do release compound path. And then once I did the release compound path, I'm just going to remove, I don't want all of those inner parts. So I'm just going to select that and move this out of the way. And then we can delete all of those small parts. Now it's up to you. Okay. You don't have to do it the way that I do it. It's solely your choice. I like things to be a certain way. You may like it to be a little bit different, right? But you can do something like that. You can change it up to however you want it, want it to look. And then you can maybe add some little flowers here. Like you can turn this into your own graphic, like some purple flowers or something like that. If you want to change the text of plain, you can change that to white and not, or you can just have it all purple. It's all up to you. Okay? All of this is up to you and what you want it to look like. Okay? So just to give you guys some ideas, like especially for those of you who don't necessarily bling, but I can save this, like I can take this out of here. I can save this as a PNG and print it out on my printer. I can save this as an SVG and cut it out on one of my cutters. These are the different things that you can do with Silhouette Studio. Okay, these are the different things that you can do with Silhouette Studio. So let's say if I have it like this, even if I did something like this, and I know I showed you guys just a minute ago subtract, but let's say if I do subtract all, I'm going to make another copy of this because let me just group this together in case anybody wants a plain purple tee. I'll have both of these. I make copies on top of copies on top of copies on top of copies, y'all. But the one good thing about Silhouette Studio, for those of you who are new to Silhouette Studio, it will recover your files for you. Okay, so if it shuts down on you, it will recover it. Why can't I move this now? Did I lock it? I don't know what I did, y'all. I can't use my mouse pad on this thing. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is, let's say I want to just cut. I want everything. I just want the background. So let's say if I go over here, I select subtract all. I'm going to show you the difference. So you guys see how I have plain, purple, and T right here. All of that, those are separate. You see the bounding box around plain, you see the bounding box around purple, and you see the bounding box around T, right? So if I select all of that and I select subtract, well, it did do what I wanted it to do. It actually did what I wanted it to do. It did, even though that wasn't grouped together because nothing was grouped together. But it did it because those weren't overlapping. That's why. But you can do something like that. If I did subtract all, this is what happens with subtract all. So subtract, you saw it removed all of that. But subtract all, it keeps whatever's in front and it removes whatever is behind it. Okay, that's the difference between subtract and subtract all. Subtract removes what's in front and behind. Subtract removes just what's behind, no matter how many layers. All right, so you could have, you could change, you could do so many different things just with basic text inside of Silhouette Studio. Okay, you don't have to, this is how you learn. You don't have to be a graphic designer to learn this software. All right, so just that alone, we have 3 different things we can use here. We have, this will not let me move it. Your girl can't move. I can't use my fingers good. Okay, so we're good over here. All right. Is this making any sense to you guys? Let me know if it made sense. Alicia, I have some more videos too that show a little bit about how to do this. But you can totally take this and to use it. For all the purple people, if you're a purple lover, let me know. If you want that, if you want these, you can have it. Because, yeah, you can have that. Do we want to make that into Bling? I can show you guys the difference between what that would look like in Bling. So I'm going to move this purple, this plain down, and I'm going to move T up a little bit. All right, we can go ahead and change the color because I do know that this particular design, I only usually use 2 colors with this design. All right, so there's a few things that you can do here. I do want to show you guys this. I know we're doing a lot of things before we bling, but this is probably the most important part of setting up. I don't know why. What did I click? This is probably the most important part of setting up the design. And just know when you do a long press in Silhouette Studio, you kind of stuck with it. Now, I do want to show you guys this. So right now, let's say if I wanted to make this a little bit thicker. Like I feel like, this isn't going to be thick enough for me. I want to make it thicker. You can make it your text fatter. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But I'm just going to size this to about 10.4. Y'all know I like larger designs, but let's do like a 10.4. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this here. This is gonna this part, and the reason why I'm showing you all these different things is because once we turn this into stones, it's super duper easy. Okay, this is probably like one of the easier templates that I can show you how to do. So let's say we want to make this thicker because the text is pretty, it's a narrow text. It's not a very fat text. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's make this a little bit larger, and I'm just going to increase the stroke point value. Let's change the stroke color to, let's make it black. So if you notice right here, this is the stroke or the outline. So as I'm clicking, if you guys look, it's getting thicker. So let's say if I want to make this like a 7 point, you'll see how it's a lot thicker now. Hey, Lori Campbell. Hey, RJ. It's a little bit, y'all love purple. Why do y'all love purple? It's all about pink. It's all about pink. All right, so Miss Sharon Davenport So let's see if I make that, you know. Thank you, Miss Sharon Davenport. Thank you, Miss Sharon Davenport. All right, so I'm gonna just bring this down, but I just want you guys to see how you can thicken up a font. Okay, just know that when you're doing rhinestones, the rhinestone, the circles, it's not like a line. So you have your line, and then that circle is definitely going to be, you know, way wider than that single line that you're going to have. So just know that the rhinestones take up a lot more space. So there are times where you may need to make your font a little bit thicker. Okay. So now I'm going to change this back to 7 because we don't want it that thick. But that just makes it a little bit thicker. Okay. So if you do something like that, you're going to head back down to your modified panel. Okay. So that modified panel is, uh-oh, I closed everything. The modified panel is over here. And it's the rectangle with the circle. So inside of that panel, you have a certain, you know, you have functions under there. You have weld, subtract, subtract all, intersect, divide, crop, make, release. Then you also have detached lines. Detached lines is very important, okay? When you're adding a thickness to the font or shape or whatever you have, okay? When you select detached lines, it's going to detach it, right? Now, if you look closely here, you'll see now there's 2 bounding boxes around that P, right? There's 2 bounding because it detached it. Okay. Now I want it to stay like this because I want this to be that thick. I do. So I'm going to select the P. I'm going to right click and then I'm going to weld that together. Once I welded it together, if you notice, now that just became 1. Okay. That became 1. Now you can select, you see how this is right here with our eye right here? That eye is going to have like, it's going to be connected. I should have, when I originally did it, I should have just ungrouped everything and then moved that eye up a little bit, or the dot above the eye up a little bit. But it's fine. We'll fix it. We'll find something to do with that. All right. So now I'm just gonna select all of that and we're just gonna weld it together. Now when we weld it together, if you look, everything is still separate. This is all still separate. Okay. I'm just gonna select all of that and just weld it. It's still separate because welding doesn't make everything one. It just, anything that's touching or overlapping, that's what's welded together. Okay? That's what's welded together. So now we have a thicker, we have plain purple tea, a lot thicker than the original plain purple tea that we have. Okay? So I did not mean to touch that. Rachel, I know you love purple. We all know that. All right, so I'm just going to group this together. All right, so now we're ready to turn this into stones. But let's work with the thinner. Uh-oh, I did not mean, I keep forgetting that this is not, it's not grouped together. So I'm just going to make this a little bit larger too. Almost the same, but if you notice, you guys see how now this is thicker than this, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to get ready to open up the rhinestone panel. I like to size the original template or the original design that's not been turned into rhinestones. I like to size it to what I want it to be. So I want it to be about 10.5 inches wide at least, because I know that when I convert this into rhinestones, it's going to be a little bit larger than what I originally set it to. Okay, it's going to be a little bit larger than what I originally set it to. So, and that's because rhinestones take up more space than the lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the rhinestone panel. The rhinestone panel is towards the bottom, and it looks like a little diamond. Okay, so we're gonna stay in just the regular rhinestone. There is an advanced rhinestones panel, but you can do everything in this one. You really can. All right. So here we have our rhinestone panel open. I'm just going to move this over to the side a little bit. and we're going to open back up the offset panel. Because if you guys know, with the basic black tea and the simple black tea design, I use there's an outline, okay? There's a few ways to do outlines, okay? When you're using, you guys saw one way I did an outline already. When we up the point value here, I'm using the wrong thing. When we up the point value here for this, that was one way of creating an outline. Another way you create outlines is by using the offset panel, okay? And that's the one with the star and like an outline of a star around it. Now, we're going to do it two ways. I'm going to move this up because we're going to do it two ways, all right? So here, I'm going to go ahead and group all of this together for now. Now, let's go ahead and create an offset, okay? So if I select an offset, that's just going to create an outline around the text, just like this. And I'm going to change this back to 0.125. The reason why I'm changing it to 0.125 is because we're going to be using rhinestones, and the distance between the outer layer or the outer area of the offset and the actual fill of the offset, so you have right here, that's 1.125 is enough space for my rhinestones to lay without overlapping. Okay, so I'm just going to click here. We're going to do 0.125. I'm going to select apply. Now, if you look here, that P and the U, it's very close, but we can always have a workaround for that. So I'm going to put a black outline there. That's another way of doing your outline. And then I'm just going to go ahead and group that together. It's grouping all of that black together. Okay. So now we have the purple and we have the black. Now that 0.125, it added, but if you look, the way that we did it here, when we just increased the stroke point value, this looks a lot cleaner than what this looks like, in my personal opinion. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that there. Another way of doing an outline, and this is probably my favorite way of doing an outline, is by doing an internal offset of the design. Now this is a lot thinner. I'm going to move this down, and then we're going to actually see what each produces. Okay, so here we're going to go ahead, I'm going to group that together. We're going to select internal offset. Now, it's going to be a very thin. Internal offset is the opposite. Hey, Porgy, is the opposite of offset. Faith Smiley, this is Lucky Retro. Lucky Retro. It's the opposite of offset. So if you guys notice, with the offset for this one, it created an outline around it, or an offset around it. Internal offset is going to create an internal shadow, an internal offset. All right, so let's go ahead and select internal offset. And we're going to, you guys probably can't see it that well, but you guys see that the red outline in the center? That's for the internal offset. I'm going to change the color. We're going to change that color to black. I'm going to remove that outline or the cut line. I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to group that together. I did all of that without clicking out of the selection, because all of those were selected. I did all of that without clicking out of it. Okay, so now we have this one. Okay, so let's go ahead. Since we made this one a little bit thicker, let's do another internal offset for here. We'll do an internal offset. We're going to turn this purple, and then you guys tell me what you think, because for the and then I'm just going to right click and group all that together. For the simple white tea is thinner like this. The basic black tea is thicker. It's thicker like this one. Okay. Of course, that means more rhinestones. This means more rhinestones than this does. Okay. So it's all based on what you want to do. Now, I prefer this way when I'm doing outlines, because I think it's cleaner. I think it doesn't lose the shape of the text. I prefer doing an internal offset, okay, as opposed to just a regular offset to get an outline. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the purple, and with the rhinestone panel open, we're going to get ready to play around with turning this into stones. All right, so the default rhinestone size is 10SS. Okay, there's different rhinestone effects. This is no effect. This is for an edge or an outline. This is for a linear fill. This is when you're filling in. It's not just going to be a plain outline. And this is a radial fill. The radial fill works perfect with circles. If you sign up for one of my rhinestone classes, we kind of go over this in detail. Okay, so we have 10SS. Now, here we have spacing, and we're going to work with spacing a little bit. Freehand, I don't necessarily care for freehand placement of the, well, I will do freehand placement of the stones just because that's how I do it, but I don't use this feature in the rhinestone panel. Release rhinestones is important. We're going to have to release the rhinestones at some point. And then at the bottom, this tells you how many stones you're going to be using, how many stones you'll need. Okay, it will tell you exactly what you need. All right, for it. So let's get ready. I have the purple selected, and remember I said that we're going to be doing an outline for the purple. So I'm going to select edge. Now I want you guys to look here. I don't have anything cut out of that. Okay, I'm leaving it exactly like that. Okay, I'm going to show you the difference of what happens when you feel like, oh, you know, I need to break that apart, or I need to, it's not going to work right. I'll show you the difference. So here we have this, the purple. We're going to select edge. That puts the outline around the letters. Okay, so if I move this out of the way, that's what we have. Something very basic, something very simple. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is, because right here there's a lot of space in between these circles, right? These are our rhinestones. We're going to call them rhinestones, but there's a lot of space in between these circles. I don't necessarily like all of that space. I always use 0.015. I'm not telling you to do that. When you're designing your own templates, you'll come up with a comfortable amount of space that you like. For a lot of people, this is enough space in between the stones, right? This is enough space in between the stones. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do 0.015, and then you'll see how that changes. Now you see how those holes are a lot closer. The only one thing that I do, and when I'm working on this with this particular font, I will go in, and you see how this edge of the U right here kind of dips right there. I don't like it like that because this is a very clean font, right? It's a very angled font, very straight. So I don't really like how this looks. So I would go in and change it. You guys will see what we're going to do after. But if I move the inner part of the text, you see how that looks a lot, like everything looks a lot closer. I like it like that. Okay. Just because I like it like that doesn't mean that you will like it like that. Okay. But I like it like that. But play around with the spacing. As you play around with the spacing, your rhinestones will fall into place a lot better. And then you won't have to do a lot of movement. So if you look at this right here, I don't feel like I would have to move much of anything here. Only thing I would fix is I would I would close this T off. I would close the arms of the T off. Everything else looks good. And the other thing that I would fix is this I. So I would bring the dot up a little bit. Like I would just push the dot up a little bit more, and then I would close that off. That's the only thing that I would do. But outside of that, this is just fine. I would probably want to fix that U right there where it dips, but that's not even anything major. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn plain purple T, the black part of plain purple T, or the black text, we're going to turn that into rhinestones. Now I'm just going to head back over here. And if you look here, right now it's telling us how many rhinestones we'll need. So you'll need 939 rhinestones so far just for that purple, for the purple text, for that purple outline. Hey, Miss Karen D. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, Teresa, Sister Art Crafts and Things. All right, so let's go ahead and select the text. I'm going to head back over here. 10SS is still selected. I'm going to select radial fill, but we'll look at both so that you can see what you would like, okay? So let's go ahead and select linear fill and see what that looks like. This is what linear fill looks like. I'm not really a fan of linear fill. I've never been a fan of linear fill. For some things, I may use it for, but for the most part, that's not what I will generally use all the time, okay? So that for me, I don't really like it. But let's say if you're like, I love linear fill, you can go ahead and start playing around with the spacing to see how everything falls with the spacing a little bit better. Go back to that 0.039 and see what that looks like. I'm not going to go lower than 0.015 because when you go lower than that, now the stones will be touching. Like you may risk your stones touching. I'm not going to go that lower than that on with y'all. Have I gone lower than that? Yes. Especially when I'm working with SS6 stones, I will go lower than that. But I wouldn't recommend that because then you risk your stones touching and then you're going to have a lot more problems that you have to deal with. All right. So right now we have that. And that's, I would work with this. I could totally work with this. That would be fine. I don't necessarily like that. I'm going to change this to black. I'm just going to switch the colors around. And then we're going to change this to purple. All right. So that's with the outline. Okay. So I'm going to put this one over on the side and we'll probably work with this one, but we'll see which one you guys like better. All right. So that's a total of 1,900 stones. If you look down here at the bottom, 1,869 stones. That's how much you will need. Is there work to do on that fill? There is work to do on that fill and we will work on it. Okay. We will work on it. What did I do with this, y'all? Did I just make a copy of this? For what reason did I make a copy of this? Oh, we did an outline, didn't we? We did an outline of this. I don't remember what we did. I don't remember. That's a shame. That looks like the same thing. I think I just made a copy of it. All right, so we're going to move this over here. All right, so this is the one that we thickened up. I didn't do an outline around that one. This is the one we did an outline right here. And that's the one we thickened up a bit. All right, let's go back. All right, so this is the one that we... No, that wasn't the one. That's the... Oh, I did do an internal offset. That's a thicker one. So let's work with this one. Let's look how this one's going to look. So let's select... Let me see what size this is. 10.465. Miss Evelyn, I'm pretty sure because I always make copies. I always make copies. All right, so for this one right here, sorry, y'all. So for this one right here, this is the one that we had already thickened up. And we created an internal offset. So this one looks like that's the internal offset. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to select the black outline. And we're going to select the edge fill. And then for the inside, we're going to go ahead and select the radial fill. Now, if you look at this one, this is the one that we thickened up. You guys see, definitely a lot more stones. We have almost 2,300 stones with this version. These two are basically the same size, but this one you're going to be using more stones because we thickened up those letters. Remember when we changed the point value, we thickened those letters up. So that's what that looks like. Which one do you guys like the best? You like more stones or less stones? That's because it's purple, Rachel. That's because it's purple. You guys like the thicker one or the thinner? Like this is a little more thin. Which one do you guys like the best? Shani, more. All of you guys said more stones. More stones. More stones. Miss Sharon Davenport, the thicker one. So this is definitely the thicker one. Okay. So we can work with this one. The size still says 10.465 because it's still viewing it as just a regular non-rhinestone image. Okay. This one, what did we do with this one? I think we did we thicken it up and then do an outline? Oh, we did the outline. Okay, so We're going to work with this one, but then I'm going to show you guys what I did with this one. So this one was the one that we did. It was thicker, and we did an offset instead of an internal offset. That's what we did with this one. So let's go ahead and do an outline, and then let's go ahead and fill that in. Radial fill. So you see how this looks very bubbly? That's what happens when you do like a regular, like a offset instead of the internal offset. I like the internal offsets as opposed to the regular offset because I feel like it stays true to the shape of the letter and it's very nice and clean. But it's whatever you like. Okay, this isn't necessarily my favorite, but I can tell you that sometimes it comes out worse than this. This looks better than it usually does. Okay, but you see how the letters, the outline starts to connect, and it just starts, yeah. And right here, we would need to like remove some of the stones because those are overlapping. Yeah, I prefer this way. This and this one and this one. All right, so let's go ahead and what are we gonna do next? What are we going to do next? I'm gonna put this over on the side. Somebody made like the thinner. Well, if I work on this one, I'm not working on the thinner one. And I'm definitely not doing this one. I like this one better. Now, if we were to turn this into stones, this might be cute in stones too. Once we're done, I'll just play around with it. What time is it? We're good. And I'll just look at it. All right, so let's go ahead and play around with it. This actually looks pretty good, y'all. Like, I'm actually liking how this looks. And the space is still in Silhouette Studio. Once you change the space, it's going to apply that same amount of space to everything. Okay, so this is applying it. But if you look here, I don't know why my eye looks so weird. Like, why does that eye look like that? It should have been better. So now what are we going to do? This isn't something that I usually would tell somebody who's beginning to do, but it doesn't hurt. You'll know, come back to this video and then you'll be able to figure it out. Okay, now with creating rhinestones in Silhouette Studio, or rhinestone templates in Silhouette Studio, as long as everything is intact, we can do all types of things with this, right? I'm just making another copy over on the side. Thought it was coming over, but I didn't see it come. All right, it's not making a copy for me. I see my little plus sign, but it didn't do it. Yep, it did it. I was like, it didn't do it, but y'all see, like, I have an extra layer on top. I need to learn how to work this mouse pad on this computer because I'm horrible at it. Look how many copies I've made, y'all. That's a shame. Your girl can't even use this computer. All right, we should be good. All right, we're good now. All right, so let me go ahead. Let me try this again. Okay, there we go. Okay, I did it right. And then all that, I don't even remember what I was going to do. All right, so now what you want to do is, while it's still intact, because we're going to head over and we're going to release the rhinestones so that we can kind of straighten some of the stones out, move some stones around. You can resize this. So you can make it a little bit larger. When you make it larger, it will auto-generate the new stones. Okay? We made this this is now a 10.968. That increased the amount of stones here. Okay? You can reduce it. I can even turn this back to just regular again. Okay? You can do all of that. But once we get ready to do the next step, you're not going to be able to do that. So that's why I always suggest making a copy of the file that you're using or the design that you created. Make a copy of it so that way you can go back. Maybe you want to do it in multiple sizes. You don't want it just one size. Maybe you want to do it in, a 9-inch wide size. So you keep this over on the side. Okay? Let's go ahead. That's your design. I'm going to just leave it right there. You could also change the stone size. So let's say if you want to make this a SS6, You can then go ahead. It's a simple click. You have everything right there. You just go ahead and press 6SS, and look, it changed it to the smaller stones. Okay. Hey, Fern. Did you have a good time? Poppin' pink tea. Now, see, poppin', Lisa, poppin' isn't one of my words that I was going for, but that sounds good. that, sounds, that sounds good. I wasn't thinking that poppin' wasn't one of my words, but that does sound pretty good. That does. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to get ready and release these stones, okay? I'm leaving it at the 10.465 because, like I told you guys before, once we're done moving everything around, that size is going to increase a little. Okay? Like I tell you guys in the class, you need to know what size you want it to be. Okay? If you're going to change the size, this is the time to change it before you release those stones. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head back over to the rhinestone panel, and we're going to select release rhinestones. All right, so we're going to release it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to release those stones, okay? And if you notice, I selected all of the stones. I selected both the black and the purple. If you look, you can see two bounding boxes there. I selected both, okay? Now, that can be a little confusing at first. However, trust me, you want to just go ahead and do it. It's the easiest way to do it, okay? And then I'll show you how we're going to get these all back together. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get ready and we're going to fill in some of these gaps. The P looks fine, but there's just certain things I like, and I am going to maximize the screen because that's the best way to be able to actually get to your, to the stones and everything and moving everything around. So the one thing I kind of like to go with the upper shape, like the outer shape of it, and then we'll just move this around like this. I'm going to make a copy of this stone, and I'm just holding down the Alt key and my mouse. And I like having all of the stones like released like this, so that way I can kind of move them around all at the same time. And then I'll show you guys how to put it all back together, because we're going to have to put it all back together. You see how this looks? So this is kind of what I would do. I may not finish all of this tonight because for this computer, I need a mouse, like an actual mouse. Because I don't. So for that, I wouldn't put one there. I would just kind of fill that space in a little bit, slightly move this over a little bit, just so that it doesn't look like a gap. But here I'm just making sure that none of those stones are touching. Even though I'm adding stones and moving stones around, my priority is just to make sure that they don't touch. Because if they touch, when you get ready to cut, then you're going to get a hole in there. Now, I do like for it to look neat. I don't like a messy looking. See, I'm just going to move that over just a little bit. And move that back here. But I don't like for them to touch at all. Now, the different colors can touch, like have a slight overlap. But if you're just getting started, I wouldn't necessarily say to do that, because you got to kind of know, how much of an overlap that it can actually take. And you guys see how this looks? I don't like that either, but it's fine. I'm just going to move this over some. And then let me see if you guys have any questions. Yes, Miss Sharon Davenport, you are so right, girl. Because I was going to brush in this template, but I don't know if I have time now. I mean, we could stop and I could brush in the template, but I do want to show you guys, like, if you want to do this, I'm going to show you guys how to finish this off, though. We're not going to be moving all of the stones because I can't I can't move it too fast. This is one of the reasons why I usually like to use Adobe Illustrator, because I can move a lot faster in Adobe Illustrator. So here's our A. I'm just gonna keep it, like, we're just gonna, and y'all know I don't like a lot of space in between the stones at all. So I would have to fix that. And then here you have the circle, well, the dot. I'm just gonna go ahead and select all of those right here. And then I'm gonna move that up. And I'm using the arrow to move it up. Whole line of stones to move them. Yeah, you can. You can. Because I have, so I'll show you this right now. So because I have all of this released, that kind of prevented me from doing that. But let's say if I wanted to grab all of this, I would just select, go all the way down, select those, and then I could move it out of the way, or I could move it over. I could even inch it over with my arrows. So yeah, you can. You just, you don't want to select everything to move. Like, you need a clear path to do it. All right. So I'm just gonna move this down like this. Let's say if I just want to say, you know what, I don't want this. I'm gonna delete those. And then another thing I do too, y'all, is that I use the same. You can just use the same letter, like how I have that inner part of the P. I can use that in Adobe Illustrator. I don't have. So you see how quick that was for me to get that eye together? There's so many different tricks that you will learn while you're doing it. And then I'm just creating more. Now I could have taken that purple. This is another thing I could have did, y'all. I could have just did this right here, got all of those, moved it up like that, turned it black. I'm going to select the eyedropper tool, turn that black, and then you do, there's so many different ways of doing so many different various things, right? Now I want this to go up. I don't like, I was just complaining about that I don't like that. There's various tricks that you could, adapt and to adapt to doing this, like whatever is going to work best for you. So here I don't necessarily want to add another rhinestone, but I don't want a lot of space in between. So here I'm just moving this up a little bit. Like that. So now that eye is going to look a lot better. I do like for it to be straight. I don't like for, the stones not to be straight. Then I'm going to work on this dot. We're going to put another stone here. I could maybe even fit 2 stones if I move them over a little bit more. I could. See? And those aren't touching. I know it kind of looks like it is, but they're not. All right. So then we're going to just go ahead. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. And I can fill this dot in with maybe another stone or 2. Don't undo. I really need a mouse when doing this with this one. I think I usually have my other mouse in here. But you see how, like, I don't like extra space. Yep, that's perfect. All right, so there's our dot. So you see how we did the eye was a lot easier for us to, to do. I would go ahead, the L's are fine. The P's, I would go ahead and maybe just like, if I don't need to do it because the P isn't that bad, but you could take the P and copy that P and just put it here in place, in place of that P. So there's different things that you could do, or this one, but these look just fine. But let's say if I wanted to do that, you can go ahead, copy it. And if I do paste, I really just could have oh yeah, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so let's say if I had, oh, I didn't do all of the P. I thought I got all of it. See, it's so hard to see I need to take off these crossbars, all these bars. I don't know why I have it on here. This way. All right, let's see if I move it over here. Come on over. Y'all, I swear I don't know how to use this mouse. All right, this mouse pad. All right, let's see if I got all of that and I deleted this. Let's see how close I was to that. And then I can go ahead and just put this right here. I can go ahead and, if that's something, if you're like, I don't feel like doing all that, that's just too much work. Because a lot of people do feel like this is just too much work. Then guess what? You can go ahead and you can line it up. Now, what I would also suggest is having another copy of the file behind what you're fixing, so that you can kind of get, you can see exactly where things would be, where they would really fall. All right. So you can do the same thing with this P. So now we don't have to worry about, doing the most with it. Let me go ahead, get all of that out of the way. If I delete that. Oh, did I delete the little dots here? How did I do that, y'all? I'm just going to go ahead and just replace it. Now there is something I do want to do with this one. I don't like that, but we'll worry about that another time. All right, let's see if I go ahead and make another copy of this. It's going to go paste. Let's click this over. And we can put that there. Now our P's are done. Okay, the P's are done. You don't have to worry about the P's anymore. I know what I did. I keep deleting it. It's fine. All right, so now the P's and the L's are perfect. We don't have the P's, the L's, and the I is good. Okay, we would do the same thing with the T's, but here, I just want to bring this down. Remember I told y'all I like those angles. I like those straight edges way too much. I don't like that one right there. Missy something. I did. Thank you. Renee, they are big. Look, Miss Sharon, she's actually always supports with no. Yes. The whole line of stuff. Okay, we showed that good. So let me work on this E. And then I'll bring this up. See, and all I'm doing is holding down the Alt key and making a duplicate that way. That's it. And I'm going to have to fix this, but I'm going to move things around. This is why I like having everything released. But see, I can move it and you can still keep the shape of the text. Like it doesn't necessarily change it. Let me move that over a little bit. Sometimes you may have to nudge something up or wherever. Thank you, Miss Sharon. All right. So I'm just, y'all, this is literally all I do. And you can create your own text that looks good. I'll see, like, I'm just moving this up. I can't wait to go watch 2020. I have last week's 2020 to watch and this week's 2020 to watch. All right, so we're just bringing this up. All right, let's see. All right. So once we're done with this E, I'm just going to plug this E in the other E spots. That's it. I'll see how this is right here. It's like not enough space for me to really fit another stone right there. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. And even though it doesn't look like that much space in between these two rows, there is, when you brush the stones in, it'll be noticeable. Which is so weird because on screen it doesn't look like much, but it is. All right, so we're just moving this just to make sure that these stones are not touching. If I had a purple shirt, I would make a purple shirt for Rachel. But I don't have a purple shirt. Oh, no, I don't have a purple shirt. I thought I did, but that one time with the bling box, we had purple shirts, and then I don't know what happened to all the purple shirts. Did I like purple? I don't think I did. I don't know why I even had those purple shirts like that. All right, so we're gonna move this over a little bit. All right, y'all, we're doing pretty good. All right, so I'm just gonna bring this up here like this, and then I want to show you guys what I do after. This actually didn't take too much. We're almost done with this actually. I'm like, I might as well finish it. All right, so y'all see how this is going. I'm not gonna necessarily clean up those edges all that way, but I am gonna move this. And see, when I'm moving, I'm not moving it too far, but I wanted to keep the shape of the letter. Like, we don't want to. See, that looks good. All right. Even though this is like a lot of space right there, but a stone can't fit there. Okay. Don't blame me. Don't blame me, Rachel. It's not my fault. All right, I kind of feel like I really want a stone to go there. So guess who's going to force a stone to go there? Me. Like, I kind of feel like it's needed. All right. Because that's just a lot of space. So we're just going to move this over. I'm going to move this right here. We're just going to move that over just a little bit. Now, when the way that I'm moving these stones, sometimes this, like, let's say if you wanted to do a sublimation and bling, that may not necessarily work or fit the pattern. So you would just have to do a little bit of adjustments to that original non-bling image. All right, so we got to work on that R, but guess what? I'm going to select all of this if I can. We're going to select that E. I'm going to do, let me just copy it like this. Put it over here. Where did it go? Yeah, I cannot, listen, I don't know why making a copy of this E is like, it's so difficult for me to make copies of the things. I don't understand. All right, so I'm just selecting both of these E's. We're going to delete those. And then I'm just going to put this, bring it over here. Just like this. So that's our first E. Now, again, remember, I should have showed you guys like doing it with the image behind it, because I do think that that's the easier way to do it. So you can make sure you line everything up, but I don't plan on doing this as bling too. Not bling, as like sublimation too. All right, so I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger. Our E's are done. The T, we just need to, the T is pretty good, right? I just need to kind of fill this in so it doesn't look so blotchy. Group it when you copy. Can you group it when you copy? Tarsha, I might have had a long day, girl. I might have had a long day because I have like a blank right now. Can I group it when I copy? Like, group both of them and copy it and just, oh no, girl. Your girl over here. I'm a little tired, but I know I'm not going to sleep. So I'm going to be up, like, trying to do some things. So it doesn't matter. Might as well just stay up with y'all. Let's see. Like, I'm gonna, if I could find the space to put a stone, I'm going to find a space to put the stone. I can't help it. I think another stone may go there, but we may just leave that just like this. We're gonna leave it like that. Can you group it when you copy the letter? You can group it. That's true. That's true, Miss Sharon Davenport. Hey, Keisha. Keisha, you been using your embroidery machine? I gotta check on y'all because y'all don't act right. Y'all don't do right. Fern. Okay, so wait, we're almost Miss Sharon Davenport, girl. We're almost done. Okay, so let me work on this R right here. The U looks really good, guys. The U looks really good. I'm actually very impressed with how this converted into stones. I'm very impressed with it, to be honest. It's way better than I thought it would be. So I'm happy about that. All right. So I don't see I like I'm I'm kind of like Maryland in a way, not as bad as Maryland though. But I'm kind of like Maryland in a way, like I like for things to be lined up a certain way. Like I can't take it when it's all over the place too much. Like I know it's some parts you can't have everything perfectly aligned, but some things it needs it. Like that needs it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my little dot there. I'm gonna move that over just a little bit, just slightly where it's not really noticeable, just to fill in the space. We're gonna put, I wanna put one more right here, but that's not gonna do good. So we're just gonna move that up. We're gonna move it up just like that because that's gonna be too much. All right, we're gonna move this over. All right, so the R looks good for now. Move that down a little bit. Let's work on that U. Oh no. Oh, Keisha. Can you use the outlines for applique? Yeah, you can turn the outline into applique and just have the center blinged out. I've done that before. You can. I think I might have a video that I showed how to do it. But you can certainly digitize the outline and just have the inside blinged out. Mm-hmm. You can. It looks really good. It looks really good. All right. Let me go ahead. Let me put this down here. We're going to go up a little bit. All right. Let's click here. All right, guys. The U is basically done too. Even though I'm gonna force a rhinestone someplace. If it can be forced there, I'm gonna do it. SS10 is a little more forgiving, like when the stones touch, like the different color stones touch, not the same color. You never want your stones to touch, like, especially if they're the same color, because when it's time to press it, they're gonna overlap. All right, the U looks good, y'all. That U looks good. Purple looks good. What y'all think? Okay, we just gotta fix that A and the N, and we're all done. We're done, y'all. We are done. And it's been like 98 minutes. And we haven't even been working on this. I talked y'all ear off at the beginning, so that's the problem. It's always me talking too much. Let's work on the N. The N is basically good. Looking at the N is fine, y'all. We're gonna go there. I'm just gonna bring this over a little bit. Down. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. I'm gonna look at the chat in 1 second, because I haven't looked at it in a good little minute. We're just gonna do it like that. That's looking great. Let's bring this over here. Okay, y'all, we're doing good. Now I do want to add another stone, because this is just a lot of wasted space. But those are all kind of tight. And so I'm gonna see if I can fit one right in a few seconds. Let me bring this one up close. Now I'm moving stones that I really shouldn't have to move because I want to add more stones. That should be good. That should be good there. Let's see. But somebody always gotta overdo it. Who's the somebody? Me. I didn't even need to. I didn't even need to do that. I didn't even. It looked full enough, but here I go, wanting it to be overfull. All right, so we're good with the N. Now let's go with the A, and y'all, we are done. Y'all see how easy it is, especially like when you're just using the same letters and it's the same. It has to be the same size, so it's good to make sure that everything is proportioned correctly, but it's not hard. All right, let me bring this up, and we're gonna put it here. All right, I'm not gonna even try to add an extra, an extra layer there because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Let me move this over here. Yeah, we had a good day at work today. Like I was busy, but we have this club called the Sunshine Club. Like all the schools have a Sunshine Club. Um, and it's for the teachers. Our Sunshine Club had like a pasta bar for us. So you had different types of pasta with a white sauce and a red sauce. You had they had shrimp, guys, for me. They had meatballs and shrimp, meatballs, and chicken with salad and bread. I thought it was very cute. Very, very cute. All right, I think we're gonna leave this A just like this. I kind of feel like I want to do. I could fit another. Who's gonna test this out for me? Because I don't have a purple shirt to put this on. Who has a purple shirt to put this on? You could test it out for me. Rach, you got a purple shirt you could put this on? I don't have no purple shirts that I could put this on. I'm not a purple type of girl. Taylor loved purple. I think she still loves purple. Her room was all purple. Like, girl, can you like pink? Like, what in the world? Can you wear pink here, Taylor? Alright. Okay, let me move this down a little bit. Let me see who said no purple. Vera, you have a purple shirt? You want to test this out for me? Because it's not for me. Y'all have a... So I will put... I'm going to put this in a Google Drive before I get off. Because y'all, if I say I'm going to put it in a Google Drive and I don't put it in now, it ain't going to happen. So I'll put it in a Google Drive. And in fact, I'll put this in a Google Drive. I'll put an SVG in the Google Drive, and you can change it to print if you want to. Since we did this together, it's only going to be in the Google Drive for tonight, so you might want to go ahead and just download it, because if not, then it'll be on my website. So make sure you download it. And if you're catching the replay and you heard me say this, please don't send me an email. I'm not going to read it if you ask me for it. So please download it now if you are here. That's a gift for everybody who's here, who sat with me all this time to make this. I appreciate y'all. And if you like purple, then that's your thing. All right, so we're all done, y'all, with our plain purple tea. right? Look how easy this was. You can make this. You can totally make this. It's not hard. All right. So now we need to put all of this back together. And this part is very important. All right. We're all done. What we're going to do next is we're going to, is that straight? It's not, I got to look at that eye. Yeah, it's fine. All right. So we're going to, we don't really need the rhinestone panel anymore because we're all done with that. So I'm going to head up to the top and I'm going to select the select by color feature. Okay. The select by color is very important when you're doing it the way that I just showed you how to do it. With us releasing all the rhinestones, this is very important. Okay. Because this is how you're going to be able to get all of those rhinestones back together. Okay. So I'm going to head over to select by color by fill. So now we have it by fill. All right. And we're going to select the black. Now, if you notice here, there's two different blacks here. So I don't know which black this is. Okay. So let's see. That's not the right black. And if you notice right here, I have these options selected: include groups and only shapes on media. This whiteboard is your media. Okay, so it's not going to select anything that's over in the gray area. Okay, it's not going to select any of that. So let's go ahead and select this black. And that's the one that's on the screen. So that's good. So I'm going to right click. This is very important. You have to do it in this order. I'm going to right click. I'm going to select group. Once everything is grouped together, it's only grouping the black. So if I click here, let me click undo edit. If you look here, it says undo group. I'm not going to undo the group, but if you look here, it's telling us how many rhinestones there are right there. There's 954 black rhinestones. So here's that group that I just did. You see, now everything is grouped together. After I group that together, I'm going to right click and then I'm going to select make compound path. I don't think I already did that. I'm going to select make compound path. It removed the color. We're just going to go ahead and turn that back black again and remove that outline because I don't like the outline. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab all of the purple. So I'm going to select the purple over here in the select by color panel. If you look, all of those small little dots have bounding boxes around them. I'm going to right click and I'm going to group that together. These steps are very important. You have to do these steps. If not, like let's say if you open it up in Cricut Design Space and you don't do these steps, they'll be all over the place. And sometimes what will happen is that if you don't group it first and then you go ahead and just make it into a compound path, then the stones will go out of whack. Okay. So now I'm going to right click again. If you look here, that was 1,433 stones. Okay. Hey V, that was 1,433 stones. Now I'm going to go down and select make compound path. Thank you, Miss Sharon. That was great. All right. So now I'm going to turn this into purple. I'm going to change that color to purple. And we're going to remove the outline. All right. So now we have plain purple tea. Our design is all done at this point. It's all done at this point. So if I select this, I'm going to select this, and I'm selecting this because I have all of these other things on this screen. All right. So with this selected, if you look now, remember we started out with this being like a 10.465 in width. Now look, once we did all of that too, we didn't change the size. But once we finalized the bling portion of the template and everything, it increased the size of the template a bit. So now this is a 10.613 inches wide. Okay, so now this is all set. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to go to File. We're going to select Save Selection. I'm not going to click save or save as because I really don't want to save all that other stuff that's on the screen. I just want to save this. So I'm going to select save selection, and I'm going to select save to hard drive. I like that, Mirror Bear. I like that. I do. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to name this. We're going to name this plain purple tea. I'm also going to say that this is going to be the SS10 version. So I'm going to put SS10. And the size is 10.613 inches wide by 9 point, not slash, 0.901 inches high. Okay, that's how I'm going to name it. Now the default file type is Silhouette Studio V3. We don't want that. Because we have the business edition, we'll be able to save this as an SVG, PNG, JPEG, GSP, or PDF. Okay, so I'm going to select SVG because that's what I'm going to be saving it as. Okay, I want to go to my documents. I'm going to click save. Okay, so now this is here. This is inside of, do I have, okay, so I have Leonardo on this computer. Let me open it up. So you guys can see with Silhouette Studio, the business edition, you can open your files in any software. Okay? Can y'all see my password if I type it in? Let me see. Yo. My hands only work from a Mac. Oh, you can't see it. I think this is the right password. Let's hope it is. Fingers crossed. It is. And look at Patrick. All right, so let's say we're going to import that file. So I'm going to go up to File. I'm going to select Import. We're going to head to Documents. And where is that file? What did I name that? Plain purple tea. Here it is right here. I'm going to do Cut Only. Next. Apply. And here's our file. And if you look down here, the size is perfect. 10.613 by 9.9014. Now I would open it up in Cricut Design Space so you can see, but as y'all see, I don't have Cricut Design Space downloaded on this particular computer. Okay, it's not downloaded over here. So that's how, and all I would do, ungroup, and then we have the plain purple tea there. I would go ahead and make a box. Did I select the square? I thought I did. I would go ahead. See, it looks different over here. No, I don't see my. I thought I selected the box, but I didn't. Hold on, oh, there it goes. All right, so then I would just put a box around it. I wasn't always a fan of the weeding boxes, but now I'm a big fan of it. I think it's Evie's fault. All right, so here we have it. And then I would just go ahead and select both of those, right click, and then I'm going to select Combine Paths. And now we have our rhinestone template that we can send. It'll cut it out and it'll cut the box from around it. Okay, I would do the same thing if I were inside of Cricut Design Space. There's something very similar to creating a box around it and doing that. Okay, so that's so you guys can see what we made inside of. The only reason why I'm over here in Silhouette Studio, or not so in Leonardo, is so that you guys can see that what I made inside of Silhouette Studio, we can use it in other softwares. Okay, we can use it in other softwares. All right, so let me go back. We're going to go back to Silhouette Studio. I already saved this, so I'll put this in a Google Drive. You guys are going to have to give me a second. If I don't do it while we're here tonight, it's not going to get done. I'm just being honest. Most of y'all know that I'm a hot mess. So if you want to do, I thought I had a copy. I didn't keep a copy of this. Oh, so I made this into like a, this is the SS6 version of it, but yo, I'm not about to do this one. It's gonna be SS10. Everybody I know who likes who likes purple, they like SS10. So I'm not even trying to do SS6 for this one. Now the pink is gonna be SS6, SS10. It's gonna be all of that. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna make another copy of this just in case I decide that I'm bored tonight and I want to go ahead and make it into SS6 because anything is possible. So let's say if we did it like this. Oh, that's what I want to show y'all. So I do want to show you guys something else. All right. So the way this is, I can save this like this for you guys. I don't like how that eye looks though, but I don't like how that eye looks. But I can save it like this if you guys want a copy of this one. I can. Do I have another one? I have this one like this, but I'll save this as a SVG. Let me just see something real quick. Let me move this out of the way. I don't really like it like that. And then I'll save this in case you want to use it as SVG, in case you want to do whatever you want to do to it, you can. I'm just going to do something here. I should just make my own. That was too thick. I was about to say I should just make my own. So I'm using the knife tool right now. I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner. All right, that's gonna cut that off for me. And then I'm going to head over here. We're gonna go to our edit points. Let me make this bigger. Sorry, y'all. I can't take certain things. I don't like how that looks. If I were to put this into the Google Drive, it doesn't look good. Oh, I don't want to do that far. I want to delete that one. And delete that. All right, let's bring it up a little bit. Let's bring it up, honey. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Right there. Let's see. All right. I think I'm gonna be fine with it like this. It's gonna be fine. It's a little sharp little circle, but it's fine. It's fine. All is fine. All right. So now I'm just gonna take this. Now, what I am gonna do is I'm just gonna make each word a compound path, because that way if whoever gets it and if you want to use a different color, you can. It doesn't all have to be one solid color like that. It'll be a few. And then I'm going to bring this back over here to the back, and that will be our little shadow. See, doesn't that look better? That eye was driving me crazy, y'all. It was driving me bonkers. All right, let's see. All right, I like it like this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna save this. Now, there's a few things that you could do. Let's say if I have it like this. Y'all saw that the black is filled in, right? You could do something like this where I open up the modified panel. I selected everything. Y'all saw all that selected. If I select subtract all, it's gonna knock out everything behind there. So that way when you layer it, you're not, you're not layering it on top of vinyl. So we can do something like that. Okay? Hi, Marshetta. All right, so I think we're good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to save this version too. This is just a regular, and I removed the back. I prefer to remove the back because what if you want to use like a vinyl or a puff vinyl or something like that with it? You can always change it. It's up to you. I'm going to change that to purple, but you can do whatever color you want, okay? Just changing it for visuals. All right, we're going to do save selection to hard drive. And I'm just going to say plain purple T cut. And then we're going to change this to SVG. And then we'll go back over to Silhouette Studio, not Silhouette, what is this called? Leonardo, and I'll show you guys us bringing that in. So let's go to File, let's go to Import, and then we're going to go back to our documents, and then I'm going to go back down to Plain Purple Tea Cut, this one. Click OK. Next. There's 3 colors, it says. We're going to click Next. And now we have our, I'm going to ungroup. And here's the files. See, so if you want to change that to a different color, you can. All of that can be changed. The only thing that's one solid color is this. Like you can't, that's one image. It's all the compound path. All right, so that looks good. Oh wait, maybe it's not all one compound path. Let me see. It's not all one compound path. So you could change it if you want to, but keep it grouped together. Okay, keep it grouped together. All right, so I'm going to delete that. All right, what's next, y'all? What's the next thing I'm supposed to do? Okay, so we got this. We have this. I'm going to group that together. I should have made the plain purple tea, that black outline, into a compound path, but your girl's tired. All right, do y'all want these too? I can put these in there too. Let me see how this would look in Bling, though. I actually like how this looks. I know it looks a little bit weird. Miss Carol Coleman. Thank you, Miss Carol Coleman. Thank you, Miss Carol Coleman. I hope you're doing good. All right, let's see. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm just going to see real quick. This is just for my own personal satisfaction. I just want to see how it's going to look as a Bling file. Like if I were to turn it to Bling. Now, the only thing is that I didn't use a large enough offset here. So I know that that's going to look like it's together. So we'll see. But I'll save that in case anybody wants to cut that one out. And I'll put the other ones in there too. I don't think we're going to Bling anything out tonight. Oh, snap. That might look cute. Y'all, that might actually be cute. Look at this. And that's SS6 though. Y'all know SS6 be looking like the best all the time. Like y'all don't even understand. All right. That could be a cute Bling file. Let me do some other little things. Greg, thank you so much, Greg. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Okay, so thank you, Brenda. I'll put everything in there. I just want to. Now I'm just seeing how this would look. Like it's definitely not necessarily something that I would generally do, but I don't want to do lines. Y'all, I cancel. When I tell y'all I cannot work this mouse pad on this computer, I cannot work it. I can't. Group. Let me group that together. So let's see what this would look like in Bling. So if we did the purple, I'll just have to fix that purple. I would need to fix that, fix it. Let's do an outline. Not bad. The only thing that I would do, let me tell you guys what I would do. So, of course, here, y'all see here, I can totally fit more stones there. Like, easily fit more stones in that P. But I would just move this row of black here in this bottom P. And I would move that to kind of help it stand out a little bit more. And then I would move this row here. And then I would remove, like, this around that U. Like, just here. But not too bad. Y'all want to turn this into Bling? No, we're not gonna do that just now. We're not gonna do it. All right, so I'm gonna move this out of the way. Don't be surprised if y'all see that version too. Don't be surprised because I can't help it when I do things. All right, so if I do ungroup, I can change this color. So let me do ungroup. So that way you don't necessarily have to have, I'm going to make this into a compound path. Let's turn that purple. And then we can make the other letters into a compound path. You can cut it out as one whole thing, or you can cut it out as 3 different colors. It's up to you. Or if you want to print it out and change the color, you can. I'll show y'all that too. Let me show you guys that. I'll show y'all that now. So let's say if we want to do, let's make that black. Let's make this one black too. Make compound path. We'll make that black. No outline or cut line. That's really the cut line. All right, so let's say I'm going to save this now, plain purple T2, and I'm going to save it as an SVG, save selection. And then I'm going to show you guys what I do, like when, like how I told you guys, like I might end up working on that other, like the other design in Bling, because I actually do like it. We're going to name this plain purple T-cut 1. I don't know what whew, Lord help me. All right, so we're going to change that to SVG, documents, and I'm going to click save. Now we're going to head back over to Silhouette Studio so that we could look at this. So let's say I'm going to do an import again, documents. We're going to go down to plain purple T, cut 1. We can do print and cut, but I'm actually going to do, let's do edible art. All right, so let's go here. Let's say I'm going to ungroup this, right? Now I can go ahead and change this color to whatever I want to change it to. And you can do this in any software. Like you can change this. Let's say if I don't want plain, I want plain to be another color. Let's go with pink. Let's say I want to do plain, pink. And then another, you can even change, whatever color purple you want. You can change the codes, the hex code, the RGB codes, whatever you want, right? Let's say I'm going to go with this color. Y'all know these are my favorite 3 colors to use. But you can change this, and then I can print this out like this now. So if you were doing like a print and cut, or if you were doing DTF, you can then change your colors up, okay? There's a lot more that you could do with it, but I just wanted to show, like, it doesn't have to be, just because I have it like this, it doesn't have to be like that, all right? So we're done with this. Let me group this together. All right. Do y'all want these other ones? Did y'all want these too? Like the one with the fill and the one without the fill? Let me know if you guys want this so I could go ahead and save it. I'm not about to do nothing fancy with this. I'm just going to keep it like this and put it out there. I'm about to go. I will, Miss Sharon Davenport. I'm going to stop. Let me save this. And you know what? Y'all are right. Let me stop this because y'all know I could keep going on and on and on. I'm just going to save this selection. Save to hard drive. Anybody who wants that version. And then I'm gonna go get some rest because, yeah, I'm a little tired. Maybe a lot. And you can save this as a PNG too if you want to. But I'm not, I'm not gonna save it as a PNG tonight. Come on, help me out. Help me out. Help me out. All right, so we're gonna save this one. Let me just go file, and I'm still doing save selection because I have it selected. Plain purple T cut 3. All right, SVG, and we're all done. All right, I'm gonna remove you guys from the screen. I'm gonna go to my Google. Hold on. You know what? All right, I think we're all good. There's like a few things here. So before I get out of here, I'm going to show you guys what I usually do. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to save as, and I'm going to save it to my library. So with Silhouette Studio, the business edition, I'll be able to open this up in any computer that I have Silhouette Studio on. Okay. I'm going to click save to library. I got to put in my password, of course. But now I don't have to use it on this computer only. I can open it up on my other computers. So I'm just gonna call this plain purple tea. Purple tea. And if you guys see here, you guys see, these are just different things that I've designed, and I want to go back to it for whatever reason, and I can. Okay. So now that's saved. We're all done, y'all. I just need to open up. So I just need to open up. Oh, you guys are gonna see yourselves. Sorry, guys, because we're all done. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna put the link into the chat. Uh, Google. What is my Google, y'all? Because I can't remember. I think it's craftable things. Thank you guys for being here. Awesome. I'm glad this was helpful. Shade of icy purple, like shaved ice. It's shaved ice. Oh, I don't want to leave the site. I gotta go. Sorry, y'all. I'm going as fast as I can to get done. And then next week it's gonna be date night, I think. I didn't see if Eve said that she was gonna be back, but thank you guys. Give me a second. I'm gonna put it in the chat. The link. Yo, I got so many passwords that I don't even know. And every time it tells me like I gotta change the password, Okay, let me see. I'm going to my Google Drive now. I'm headed there, y'all. Google Drive. Awesome. Yes, date night is on. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Evie. I'm excited. Evie, we got to see what we're gonna do, girl. I thought I was gonna be blinging out of my shirt tonight, but I'm not doing that tonight, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna chill out for a little bit. What is this called? Plain purple tea file. This is gonna be available for you guys. Maybe by tomorrow, I may take it off after the Bling box soon, probably. So just know that you need to download it tonight. If you're here, you need to download it tonight. And if you're catching the replay and it's past the time, please don't send me an email. It breaks my heart when people do that. All right, let me see. Share. I'm not even joking. Now I know I'm sleepy because I'm just, it does. All right, let me see. Anyone with the link? Copy link. Done. I think I did it right because I'm half delirious at this point. All right. Somebody's going to have to go in if you can and check it and let me know if you're able to open it. Please. Oh, Danny, thank you. Thank you so much, Danny. All right, I can look at the chat now because I've been kind of looking at, y'all know I can't do too many things. I can't multitask good. Thank you, Robin S. Thank you, Paula. Have a good weekend, Barb. There you go. Evie. I saw Evie. Keisha, this is from the Bling box from last October. I think this is last October. And so this is what I wore to work. Y'all, listen, I went to work today as myself, as my comfy self, how I like to be comfy with my sweatpants on. Usually I wear either sweatpants or black sweatpants or black tights with a black t-shirt on. And so I went, and since today was the last day of October, I decided to wear this because we did have like a cancer survivor event at the school on Wednesday. I couldn't make it because, girl, one of my parents showed up without a meeting. And guess who saw them? Me, because I was there. Like, why not? So I missed it, and I was sad that I missed it. All right. Yes, Barb said she downloaded them. All right, guys, you guys are good. Thank you so, Alicia. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much, Alicia. Evie, Evie gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Evie. And congratulations to anybody who benefited from that membership. Thank you, Evie. Oh, you guys are so Keisha. Keisha. Thank you, Keisha. And I just want you guys to know I'm gonna have to travel with this belt because at Blingfest, people have bells, y'all. They have their bells. Bro, you gotta do better with yourself and be more prepared. All right, good. You guys got them. I'll drop it in the link in the chat one more time, and then we're gonna get ready to get off. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you download them. Make sure they're saved on either a flash drive or your hard drive, because once I take them off, they'll be gone. I'll probably take them off like Saturday or Sunday. I always say that, and then I always leave it. Miss Rosin McElveen, thank you. Thank you so much. And Lisa, thank you for getting the membership. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. All the members who are always here, all the subscribers, all of you guys who stick with us. Thank you so much. I know it's not easy all the time. Sometimes I be on a whole little roller coaster, but y'all be on the ride with me, and I appreciate y'all so much for that. So we're gonna get ready to get off. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. I did want to do my basic, but guess what? I wanted to put it on. I wanted to use I wanted to use SS6 rhinestones with it, but I don't have those colors. I don't have the icy onyx in SS6. So that may not be. I might have to use the SS10 version then. I might have to do the SS10. But nonetheless, y'all, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Tomorrow morning, Jess and Stacey usually come on tomorrow morning. I didn't see a notice that said that they weren't going to be on. And then on tomorrow, if you're an Extreme Bling Box member, we're going to be blinging out the Cozy Vibe season template tomorrow because this was like my only free weekend. So we're going to do that. And then on Sunday, we're going to be doing So Good. Delonda and I were going to be doing reverse applique. Excited about that. And then what else, guys? What else? Sunday morning, crafting on the dime with Shay Shay will be Marjorie. Thank you for being a member on our channel. Crafting on the dime with Shay Shay will be on Sunday morning, and then Delana and I will be on like 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, that's 4:30 Central Standard Time, I believe. So I'll see you guys. But just remember, be kind. I'm not gonna give y'all a whole long speech like I do all the time. Y'all already know. Just be kind. You guys are always so helpful. I love being a part of this community. I do not take being a part of this community for granted. I appreciate all the time that you guys put into this community, not just with me, but just in general. All the love, all the support that you put into this community. Thank you guys so much for that. Please continue. I don't think I even need to say please remember, or you should please continue to be kind, spreading your kindness and love to everybody. You guys do it so well in this chat. You do it so well in this chat. Don't forget, if you see Sharon Davis, let me know. I'm going to try to reach out to her too. And Latricia and Momo Girl, because I haven't seen Momo Girl in a minute. So I just, you guys are missed when you're not here, and when we don't see you. Amongst ourselves, we'll ask, hey, you saw such and such, or, have you heard? And sometimes, Marilyn say, oh, yeah, I saw, X, Y, and Z, like we were at the same party at 755 together or something like that. She will let me know. Evie's the same way. Delonda, and definitely Dimps. Dimps is going to let know. Yeah, or Dimps will be like, I already checked on her, or I already reached out, or something like that. So we definitely do miss you when we don't see you. Okay, we're a family. So I love you guys, and until the next time, y'all. Later.